Hello, everybody. Today it's happy Sunday to all of you, and thanks for being here and spending time with me. And thank you for joining the group. What I'm looking for, okay, I can't find my book, but so today we've joined this group as a self-love group. I'll probably give about 2 more minutes for people to see if people will join in. Otherwise, I understand it's a long weekend and it was a pretty, I had a little dicey week last week, and I wasn't sure at what time I would be able to organize this meeting. So I wasn't proactive in, usually I'm very organized and I have my things down to a T, and I knew that I wanted to have a meeting with you guys. But I just didn't know at what time I would be able to make it. And I knew I had to do it a day or two prior to Monday so that our week will, this week is going to be a prep week. So there are things that I wanted to share on what this group means, what would be done. And I wanted to set a ground for, okay, this is going to be the prep week, and next week is when we actually do the things that this group was formulated for. I think, and as the name of the group suggests, the idea behind being healthy and fit needs to come from here. It cannot be something that you say, I want six-pack abs, I want to have toned shoulders. No, that is not your reason for why. The reason for why would be things like, I want to be stronger, I want to have more time and patience for my kids, I want to be able to play and run around with my 2-year-old, so things like that. And hopefully the aim of the presentation that I'm going to be doing today, I don't think there's going to be any of you joining, but you can watch this recording. The aim of this is to formulate an idea of why you need to be healthy, why you need to be doing the workouts, why do you need to lead a healthy lifestyle. There's always whys, right? So the goal of this would be to probably have you guys think about what is your why. And it's not a one-time thing. Every now and then you have to reevaluate to see what your why is. But to start with, if you have a why, that is when you're going to stick with anything. Okay. So it's been about 2-3 minutes since the group, the meeting started. So I'm going to be sharing my presentation. And the first slide. I don't know if I want to play it. I just do slide only. Make it full screen. Okay. Okay, so our group is called Selflove. What does self-love mean? We all know what loving is. As women, there's only women in this group. So I'm saying, as women, we grew up as daughters. We are good siblings. We end up being marrying person of our dreams. We become a good wife, and then some of us transition into being moms. And so we play all these roles, and in the formulation of those roles, sometimes we forget ourselves. And that is why this group is required, or any community, for example, that have people that have similar interests. If we have a group of highly energized people that are doing something, then all of us will do it. That is it's called the power of positive reinforcement, right? One person does it, then the other people follow, and it's not like, okay, one person does something and we're just blindly following. No, that's because we all share a similar passion of leading healthy lives, not just for us, but also for people who love us. but the first step would be to love ourselves. So, okay, if I can figure out how to go to the next one. Okay. No. Sorry. Okay, let me just play this. Although this is going to be irritating, I apologize for this slide showing up, but you at least get to know what the next slide is. Although let's concentrate on the slide on the left. So this was the logo that I came up with, and it shows that it doesn't matter. There's a very good saying that I read that said, the size of my waistline doesn't determine the size of my smile. And I think that is a very powerful statement. And we all need to come from a place of self-love. And that's when you grow. And it doesn't come from self-hate and having a bad body image. Looking at everything, all the news that's been around, you're told one thing and you need to look one way. In a way, yes, you need to have a smaller waistline because your BMI will be in place, and then your body mass index, and that way you're healthy. That's the way to look at it. But then it's been driven out the wrong way, that beauty is being thin, and that's not true. Being strong comes from within. It doesn't come from outside. It doesn't magically happen when you get six-pack abs. It doesn't magically happen when you are thinner, when you have more muscles. No. Those are parameters by which we all get driven to achieving what we want to. That can be motivators. You'd want to say, okay, I'm here, I want to get there. How do I do it? That is fine. But when you start comparing, oh, that person looks better than me, that is when self-hatred starts formulating. And it is very important to grow from a place of love and not from hatred. And so we'll talk about self-love. And there are 7 steps that have been laid out that I felt were very interesting. Those are not my steps, but then I thought I've accumulated them from places, and I think they are very crucial, and they form the cornerstone of this group. So I'll be going over that. How are we going to get started? Any of my teams, the way they are run, I'll go over how it's done. The fitness milestones, again, how do you start? How do you get started? How do you progress? And how do you finish? So those are the milestones. The nutrition is not just clean eating. Nutrition includes what are you taking prior to your workout? What are you taking during your workout? What are you taking after your workout? I'll go over all of those, and I'll say what the differences are. And clean eating in itself sounds very sterile, but it can be made fun. And it's not, it's super intuitive. We all know what is good for our bodies, and yet we sometimes indulge, and there's reasons for that too, and I'll go over those as well. And the next steps, what is the group going to do? As you can see, I like being organized, and that is one of the very important steps that I've learned over the years. In order to be consistent at workouts and at your clean eating, you need to be consistent and organized. Okay, so going to the next one, self-love. What does it mean? Okay, let's focus on the left slide. Become mindful of yourself. What does it mean? So when you get mindful of your thoughts, you know what you like, what you don't like, what you are willing to sacrifice, what you're not willing to sacrifice, your negotiables, your non-negotiables. You need to be very clear in what those are. If you don't have this clear, that is when you lose track of what is the most important thing for you. Need versus want. We all have needs. We all We all want stuff. We all want the best in life, the best of everything, the best of fitness, the best of body, best everything in life needs to be the best. So it becomes easier when you put ceiling on your desires. Are you sometimes wanting to go a certain way, and then it makes you sacrifice on things that are more essential, that you need to do? Like if you want to go every day and hang out with your girlfriends, say, would you want to give up your need, which is being healthy, for that want of wanting to go hang out every day? That's a sacrifice we all have to make, right? um, would you rather go eat out every day? Would you rather go sit in front of TV just because your set of friends are used to watching this TV show, and then uh, that's the period that you're most motivated to do something for yourself, but you're ending up watching TV, right? So those are the different needs and wants. It could be completely different for you, but that's the basic idea. You want to make a clear image of what you need, what you want, what are the things you need in life: being healthy, being around family, being happy, being, well, happy is a very relative term, but what does happiness mean to you? Is it hanging out with your family more? Is it hanging out with your friends more, but also making time for your own, for your mind to be in a place where you feel healthy and energetic and wanted and wanting to do things? um, the point three, I wasn't doing this a lot when I started, but then now I'm very conscious of taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your soul. Um, Self care can be many different things to many different people. It's when you're sore, you want to stretch out. When you've been sitting the whole week, you want to stretch out, you want to relax. The way to relax would be to do certain stretches, or propping yourself in front of TV, or in front of just going and sitting somewhere will probably not do much good care for you. Even though it feels good at the moment, it doesn't really do much for you in terms of taking good care of your own mind. So meditation, yoga, uh, self-care could be massage. Self-care could be going and getting your nails done, your hair done, your facial done. So doing things for yourself is not selfish. It would inculcate self-love in you, and that love can be transmitted to the people around you. So it is not selfish. Set boundaries and say no. Many women have problems saying no, which leads to them owning more than the things that they would like to sign up for, either at work or at home or with respect to kids. When you set boundaries and when you know how to take care of yourself, believe it or not, people around you will respect you a lot more for having set those boundaries for yourself, and they become independent. Even the kids become more independent when you say, no, this is what I will do for you, and this is what you need to do for yourself. That gives them a structure as well. And this applies to anybody that has expectations of you. Protect yourself from people that are not right for you. These are all very obvious, but when laid out in points, when you think about them, it means different things to different people. And I think the 7 steps of um, the way of approaching it, self-love, is very crucial. Because if you surround yourself with people that are toxic, you kind of get either demotivated, or you become one of them. You become a negative person. So you want to have people around you that would nourish your soul, that would have you do things in a healthy way, be giving, be but again, know your boundaries. don't give more than you have in your cup. You can give as much as you can hold in your cup. When you fill your cup is when you can give others love, right? You that's um, if you're not happy inside, you can't spread happiness. But at least to give it a good start, surround yourself with the right people. Always protect yourself from negativeness, from even the news around us sometimes can be negative and can have negative effects on our mind, which in turn would lead us to just bottle up and not want to do anything for us, which is actually more harmful to us than the news media is supposed to do that. And they're earning their way that way. You take what is required of you and then you let go of things that you don't need. So surrounding yourself with the right people, with the people who have mindset like you, who want to make themselves better and who want to give to the society, are the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. um, and I hope the group you choose for health and fitness would be mine, because we have an amazing group of people that uh, are we all in our daily jobs we do completely different things, but when it comes to health and fitness we're always cheering each other no matter what the other person is going through. You have a community that builds in order to have that positive outlook, which helps forgive yourself for no one's perfect. A person that looks awesome on social media is the biggest, I wouldn't say the lie, but it could be very one-sided. People will not want to show the side that is hurting, right? They'd always want to show what works best for them. I would want to show when I'm happiest with my family. I'm not going to show when I have a meltdown with my family, right? There are times when it gets overwhelming. You don't show such things to people. That does not mean that anybody is leading a perfect life. But how can you get close to your perfect? There is no single perfect, but what is yours? Your perfect. You need to figure that out. And once you've figured that out, and once you know that that is what will give you satisfaction and happiness, you'll be ready to forgive yourself for all the other things that's again going back to point two, need versus want, right? If you know what you need from yourself and you're doing those things, you're eating clean, you're whatever is in your control, you do that well. The other things can be let go, right? Live intentionally. Do not live for others. Live for your own self. Know what is good for you and make that work for you. Schedule time for yourself. Schedule your life. Organize your life. Believe me, that makes a huge difference. And that level of structure helps you conquer more things than you think are possible in a day. And I can speak from experience of when I wasn't doing things like that to when I am doing things like that, things have changed. Um, for example, again, going back to my example, we're done with that slide. That self-love is what we're going to be using as our cornerstone. And each day I'm going to be asking you all to do something towards that. And I would really appreciate if our group got up and running and participating. Uh, I'm going to go over what the next steps is for the next week, but I would really want to see some participation in the group. It's not my giving you anything. These are things that you know very well. This is more of things that you can get from everybody. Can be a teacher. I learn every day from my kids. I learn how to be simple minded. I learn how to look at small things and be happy, right? So there are things that you learn from everybody. And I'm telling you this from experience of what I've learned over the years of what has worked for me. And I'm sure there are a few takeaways that you can take and implement. But please do participate in the group. That is what will bring out some of us are shy. It takes time to come out, but I would really appreciate it. and ask all of you to come out of that shell. This is a closed group. I'm not going to be sharing anything anywhere without your permission. So please come out and participate, because that is what will keep the group alive. And we'll do some fun activities, and you guys can suggest what will keep you motivated and activated within the group. You can do whatever you want. You can go and do your own fitness regime, your own clean eating, but you can come and share things. Self-love is just about loving yourself. This group is meant for bringing about a transformation in your body by transforming your mind and conquering your mind, right? Okay, that being said, let's move on how I make it happen. I wasn't organized before. I used to have a very tough time fitting in my workouts. I used to suffer in my nutrition. I'm a vegetarian. I was not ready to take in my pre-workout, post-workout, my during workout. I was hesitant. I think most of us are hesitant in putting things into our body which we don't know how it's going to react, right? And that's completely okay. But you need to know your own body. If you are getting sore, how do you overcome that, right? So we're going to talk about that. Before getting started, you need to be prepared to make a shift in your lifestyle and not have major impact in how things are going to shape up for you, right? You don't want to start your workout and then you'll be like, oh no, I'm so sore. You have to be prepared. And that is where I come in. I have used products from both my own program as well as the other ones before, and I can tell you there's a difference. And you're free to go and do what you like, but you should know that it does work for you, right? There are many things that may not work for you that I use, but it has worked for many of the people that in my team. So I can suggest things to you, but then you need to know if it'll work for you. And the way you would know is by trying. Or if you have some other way that has worked for you in the past with your other workout programs, I'm completely fine with that. So the first thing would be schedule your tasks. What I mean by that is, if you are the kind of person that plans your week ahead, I would highly advise that be done. That has helped me tremendously. I sit on Sunday, I do my meal prep plan for the week. I go buy my groceries. That's not the only thing. I also plan out when my workouts are going to be every day. I am not the kind that would be able to go one day in the morning, one day in the evening. I need to have some level of consistency. Otherwise, I'm going to lose focus. If I start doing workouts at one time, I keep it at the same time every day. If it is not the same time, it'll at least be at the same time, around the same time zone, in the sense that if I'm doing it in the mornings, it's going to be in the mornings. It may be 8 a.m., it may be 9 a.m., it may be 6 a.m., it may be 5 a.m. sometimes, depending on my day at work. If I need to be there at work for my meeting at 9 o'clock, and I need to, I get up 1 hour early so that I could get my kids' lunches ready, and I take about an hour to, I don't know what I do. That's just my time. I meditate, I get my mind prepared. I take a long time taking my showers. Thankfully, California is out of that drought. Sorry. So now I can take long showers. And I get my morning routine done. So I need 2 hours for that. But if I need to incorporate my workout, which would require that I take my pre-workout before that, I would need about another half hour or an hour sometimes, depending on the length of the workout that I'm doing. And so I'm going to wake up at 5. And I make it happen. I make it happen within that time. Worst case, I can't make it in the morning. I cannot wake up, which is usually after Wednesday, I can't wake up. Then I do it in the evening. But I make sure I do it. So scheduling your task for what it can be and giving yourself some buffer time is the way to go. And if it doesn't work out, too bad. You can do it the other time. But at least if you have it scheduled, you know in your mind that, oh my God, I have this task that's still pending, right? Meal prep and plan over the weekend. Yes, we are going to go over this next week. I am thinking, which is when we would get started on the next workout. So yeah, so I think we'll be doing it together next week. That'll be fun. And it's super simple. You can make it super simple. I'm a creature of I like regular. I like things. I don't care eating the same thing every day. I'm pretty boring at that, but I love um, making a little changes within that, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And we can meal prep and plan. Yeah, this is important. If for some reason you couldn't work out one day, you make it up the next day, no matter what. You when it piles up, when you don't work out for 2 or 3 days, is when it gets worse. Say your workout is 4 days a week, that then it's fine. You can naturally in the 7 days you can make it up somehow or the other. But if it is, there are some workouts that are every day of the week. I wouldn't recommend you getting started with that, but that's the stage where you would probably want to progress to. Um, Again, this is greatly reliant on the fact that you know your why. Okay, I think in the context of time, I should probably be going a little sooner. Okay, so if you skip a day, make it up the next day. That is it. And if you, in my group, especially if I'm your coach, I make sure to follow up the day that I don't see on the tracker that somebody has not entered their workout for the day, and it is not one of their rest days. I want to know why. I I try to politely ask them uh, on why. There is a little bit of a tough love. Initially, in order to get started, you have to maintain some level of consistency. Once you finish your first program, you are going to have a mental transformation. Then you wouldn't want to miss a day. You would know the value of not missing a single day and seeing changes for your own self. So I have to make sure to just see you through one program, basically, right? From the next program, you are going to be on the go. You are going to be better than me. You're going to have a better schedule. Work through sickness, tiredness. Of course, this comes with a huge disclaimer. I don't know what kind of sickness you could have had and how sore you are. The soreness factor, again, it goes back to nutrition. You have to be on point when it comes to your nutrition and protein shake or whatever kind of protein intake that you do. A post-workout drink of protein is definitely required, and overnight, if you could take something for your muscle soreness with carbs, that would be the best. I can recommend things to you guys once we are rolling and we get to that point. I can't emphasize the point enough about working through sickness, because I've been sick. I've had that time of the month when I would be completely almost dying. That doesn't mean that you have to keep up with the instructor. All you have, or the trainer, all you have to do is modify some of the things and you can still do it. Always form over speed. Form, form. If you can do something, modify. If you don't know how to modify, ask me. Have an effective way of addressing soreness. Yes. So you can take you can soak up in a bath of Epsom salt. You can roll and release, foam roll. I don't know if you can see. My foam roller is right behind my Bowflex stand. You have to roll. That's a different way of getting rid of joint pain and muscle soreness, basically. Sorry, not joint pain. Joint pain, you'll have to take something for it. Um, and stretching. Stretching, of course, is the best. You can, um, you'll have to stretch in order to get rid of your soreness. If the soreness still persists, then you have to take some kind of an after workout drink or muscle soreness reliever. Not necessarily a pain. I would not recommend any kind of pain medication. I am anti-medication. I try not to take my medication until really required. And these are all by being on point with your protein and nutrition. You can basically get rid of, sorry, I've been getting calls. You can basically get rid of wanting or needing a pain medication. You can ask me what I use and I'll let you know. There's no secrets. Okay, this is the way I run my groups. The thing on the left, you have to have your measurements done. I don't care if you don't want to share it. There are many people who don't want to share their progress photos. They don't want to take a photo of their own and share it initially. That's fine, but I want you to take it for your own self. Weighing scale does not tell you the whole picture. Um, I have a slide. I don't have a slide in this, but I had a slide in in another thing wherein it said it takes some X number of days for you to be able to see your changes on the scale, but it takes less than X in order for other people to notice the change in you, and it takes less than that amount for you to see changes in yourself when you wear your clothes that generally do not fit you well, but now it automatically fits awesome. So though that kind of changes are visible in the photos that you take of yourself, I would recommend taking it on side profile, in the front and the back, and preferably with just your bra and your shorts or something like that, so that you can see the amount of changes that are going in. Again, nobody is pressurized to share their photos or their measurements. There is a tracker in my group that we use in order to do this, and it's only visible to the participant and me, the coach, right? So it is very important to take before and progress. Every Saturday is called our Saturdays. So we take our stats, cheesy but works. You take your measurement of your biceps, your triceps, well, not triceps, but you do take off your thighs and your waist and your chest, and you get to see either you're losing weight or you're losing, I'm sorry, inches, or maybe sometimes you put on. The reason you would put on is because your body is changing. There's no need to get alarmed as such, but it's something to be watchful of. You will notice your body and you'll be able to change for the better when you know what's happening within you. And if you've been off point on nutrition, happens to all of us, then you know where to control, right? If your waistline is going up, if your belly is becoming bigger, even though you've been putting in like double the amount of workouts that you had ever done, you can still put on weight if you are not on point with nutrition. And the next step would be completion. Yay! This was actually taken during one of my workouts. It's a selfie. I don't know how I was able to capture a good one. Sometimes I do get good ones out of my selfies. So I'm actually quite a lot up. It doesn't really show the whole picture. But yeah, so the after pictures will boost your confidence, will make you know that there are things that will happen by the little changes that you make happen every single day. The Rome was not created in a day, and so was your body, right? It takes a while for you to put on weight. It takes a while for you to take it off. But the goal of my program is not just to have immediate results. Fad diets can do it, but that is not the way. You have to have a sustainable lifestyle. With my work, with my two kids, with my busy schedule, I still make it happen. And that is what I plan to impart in my teams, that it's not required for you to let go of one thing. Again, it comes to need versus want. You don't need everything. So you want to list out your wants and see which ones of them are needs. And if for all the wants that you have, you're putting nutrition and fitness at the end, flip it over. So take pictures, weigh yourself. Okay, I have a typo in there. Weigh yourself. You need to weigh yourself not to be driven by the scale, but to see if you have a thing in your mind that you want to get to if your target is to get to a particular weight, then you want to weigh yourself, and you shouldn't get discouraged if you're going up and down. But you once the program is done, if you haven't attained your target weight, even though you were following nutrition, I would say reevaluate your nutrition plan, right? We have different plans for each bracket of weight, and if you're following that, you should be getting to the target weight that you had set out for yourself. If you're not, we have to reevaluate. So all of these things are going to be things that I'm going to be helping you with. And then we start the next program. There are about 700 plus workouts in the program that I run, and you will never be bored or hit a plateau. Okay, getting faster. So clean eating habits. These are the things that I want you guys to try this week. We are not going to be going into the meal prep and plan until we begin the next program, which I might do. I would want to say one of the weekdays, but weekdays are really difficult. Just in terms of juggling with my full-time job and my kids and my and my workouts. I prioritize my own workouts too. So please do these. I'm not going to go into each one of these because I think I'm going to run out of time. And this slide talks about the macronutrients. So this is one of the nutrition programs that we follow, which has containers. I can show you guys the containers, and I use this basically. This, instead of counting calories, instead of guessing, it takes the guesswork out of your meal prep and plan, right? Like the green one, I use it in order to put my veggies in, and then I should be able to close the lid. The proteins are dal, what were lentils, and what were you plan on having? I'm a vegetarian, so, and I don't eat eggs. So this has been sufficient in order to get where I wanted to. So I can go over all of these. There are some meal prep and plan ideas over here, and these are links. You can click on these. Oh, I have to upload this to the thing. Okay, I'm going to make a note of that. Load PowerPoint. So you can click on these and you can get to some links. And as I said, for the clean week, we'll go over it together later in the week. And the next steps next week is that I would want to run a 7-day workout program, which is going to be completely free of cost. You don't need to put in your credit card or anything. If you've not had a prior account with my program, you should be good to go. I would need to get, you can contact me for details on how to get this started for you. I hope all of you join, and it's going to be a 7 days, 30-minute program. We can do it together over Zoom calls like this, or if you want to go solitaire and finish each one of them. But I would want you guys, I'm going to set out a post on what my expectations are for each of you, for each of the days of the week, on how you need to upload. And that's the only way to be consistent. There's no shame, there's not going to be shaming around how we look, how we do things. We just need to get done with that. So please try and do that thing. You're not, by doing this, you're in no way saying that you're going to join my group eventually or anything. So don't have any kind of preconceived notion of, oh, so if I do go and do this free workout program, I probably have to sign up to be with her and have her as my coach. No, this is fitness is my passion, and I do it as my. People have always asked me how I remain consistent, and I thought this was one of the ways of sharing with peeps like you on how I do it. And if you join me, I'd be super hyped. And I'm going to be doing this one with you because this coming week is my last week with the 6-week program that I was doing. That was amazing. You guys can do that with me after. But the 7-day workout thing is going to be something that I'll be doing with you guys. And I'll be doing the meal prep and plan and everything with you guys. So it's not going to be like I'm going to be preaching and doing something else. So I'm going to be with you on this. So please join me. Thank you so much. And I hope all of you will join me next week in doing this program, and let's knock some milestones from our fitness journey with this, and even health journey. We all can be at a better place than we are today if we think positively, talk positively to yourself. You can talk at each. You can talk to your food. You can say, "Okay, food, are you going to do something good for me?" I know that sounds crazy, but that works. There are times when you can look at a donut and ask, "Are you going to do anything good for me?" And you know your answer immediately, right? I'm not saying that you can never have any cheat diet, but it's better not to have it on a daily basis and not to have it in a big quantity. You want to have portion control over everything. Even healthy things can be bad. Too much of fruits can be bad. Too much of almonds can be bad, right? So nothing in the world is completely comes free of calories and free of um, guilt. So I hope this has helped you guys a little, and going forwards, I hope I'll be able to have more of you on this call and ask me live questions. Feel free to share anything on the group, and also to email me or ask me anything at all. If I'm able to help and change anybody's life even a bit, I would consider that my privilege. And thank you all for watching this, and I hope you'll join me next week. I think I'll be sharing something in between as well, but until then, ciao, happy Sunday, bye.